It's time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shine.
Orale. What's up to all my vatos locos out there? It's your boy Dave from the 4-Way coming to you all the way from my podcast studio in San Jose, Califas. How's the new camera, huh? You like the camera? Too much of Dave? What's up, everybody? You know what time it is. It's time for the Shoe Shine, where friends from around the world, from around the U.S., from all over, get together to talk about all the sweet doings and the sweet science. Joining me as always, all the way from the city of brotherly love, is my co-host, Philly Irish Drew Evo. Que pasa, homie?
What's up, Dave?
I'm loving the shades. Tell me, what is the occasion for the shades?
Gotta look good for a change, right?
Yeah, man, I'm digging it here. I'm digging it, and I see Bernard Hopkins because, of course, you like to represent the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. And Drew, it was an exciting weekend. I'm glad to be back on the air. Shout out to all our family members and people who support us in the HCP community and the YouTube boxing community. Drew Evo, is Gennady Golovkin gonna have a career like Bernard Hopkins, man? 40 years old. I'm up at 5 in the morning. Not ashamed to say, first of all, Drew, I got a 14-year-old dog that wakes us up either at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., or 7 a.m., but she's waking me up. So I went to bed Friday night at midnight or so, maybe even later than that. Dog wakes us up at 5 a.m., and I'm like, oh, shit, it's the Gennady Golovkin fight. So I go on my phone, I'm on DAZN, in bed with like all this eye crust. Didn't even wash my face. Fuck that. I plan on going back to sleep, and I caught the Gennady Golovkin fight live. Did you do that?
Nah, I had to rewatched it. I had to do the replay.
All right. I watched it live, bro, and I know my eyes were deceiving me, but the first round was kind of, it was kind of even, right? But then I got worried for Gennady Golovkin, so I was like, oh, shit, it's true. He's old. He's an old man now because he started getting tagged up to the body by Ryota Murata, and things didn't look like they were going so well in rounds 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to get to that, but I want to ask the chat. Tell me in the chat right now. Hit us up with a comment if you're watching this in the replay, or go ahead and give our phone line. We'd love to take your phone call because the Shoe Shine does have a phone line at 702-710-3627. But let me know who had the finest performance this weekend from the Gennady Golovkin card. Of course, then you had Erickson, Lubin, and Fundora on PBC. And of course, you had Mikeala Mayer headlining the Top Rank card as well on ESPN+. And the superstar of the lightweight division, that's what he calls himself, King Ryan, the return of King Ryan. And I know people have got a lot to say about him because King Ryan is polarizing. By the way, Drew, why don't you tell me who was the performance of the weekend? But I want to show this. Shout out to my mother-in-law who got me this beautiful bottle of Don Julio. Let's see how the focus works. Drew, who was your favorite fight of the week?
Fundora.
Fight of the year contender, guys? Was that a fight of the year contender or what?
It was a good fight while it lasted.
It was a good fight for sure while it lasted. And you know what, Drew? It's not without controversy because Mikeala Mayer, who last fought at the Virgin Hotel that used to be the Hard Rock in Las Vegas, she fought Hamadouche, the other champion, in a unification, right? Just a few months back. And that scorecard was ridiculous. And I got a chance to look at that scorecard. I'm going to put it up in a minute, but that Lubin versus Fundora scorecard has some shenanigans to it, man. They had I think a couple of the judges had Lubin up at the time of the stoppage in the same venue, in the same city. Some shenanigans going on that scorecard. So let me see who's up here. I've said saludos to Nopal, Chicano, Sonteo. Appreciate you, Sonteo. Did you get my message about Giovanni Santillana? Appreciate that. Bella Bling is here. And don't be afraid to share this, JC. Orale and El Chidos Boxing. Thanks for coming down here and hanging out with us. Sonteo Media, yeah. All right. The Fundora fight was your favorite one of the weekend, Drew. But I'm going to answer this right now, and I'll get to it later, elaborate on this. The performance of the weekend for me, okay, was actually by Giovanni Santillana, a contender prospect that fights under Robert Garcia's camp. It was his third fight with Robert Garcia, and it was the co-main to Mikeala Mayer in Orange County. And I'm going to tell you why it was a performance. Because Giovanni Santillán is not ranked in the top 10 of the 147-pound division. He's making a big name for himself with some big statement wins recently, Drew. He takes on a guy who clearly is not in his caliber. All right, he's the co-main event of Mikeala Mayer. And unlike Ryan Garcia, not able to cut off the ring, not able to use his jab to set up those wickedly fast combinations that he's gifted with, all right? Not able to stop the opponent from running around, chasing him down, basically not cutting off the ring. Giovanni Santillán did all that and exhibited everything in his arsenal and forced the stoppage. He got the referee to say, "I've seen enough." See, that's what I need to see of a future star. That's what I need to see. And we'll get into the Ryan Garcia bullshit later. Maybe it wasn't as good as Gennady Golovkin's win.
It was bullshit. You got that right.
Maybe it wasn't as good as the Gennady Golovkin win, because let's give him his due credit. 40 years old and snatching up a second title in his weight division. So I'm asking you, man, is he anywhere close to resembling the career of the alien in Bernard Hopkins? I'm tripping.
Hell no.
Care to elaborate?
Because Bernard took on the best of the best. He took on Felix Trinidad, and the only guy to stop Felix Trinidad. He's the only guy to completely keep Oscar De La Hoya down for the 10 count.
Okay. Let's just talk about, what about that middleweight reign? Because there's going to be comparisons. I know Gennady Golovkin is going to be a Hall of Fame.
He wasn't undisputed. Bernard was. Bernard had 20 straight title defenses. Gennady Golovkin only had 20, but not in a row. Bernard beat guys half his age all the time. In their prime, he embarrassed Kelly Pavlik. He embarrassed Tavares Cloud. Like, come on. He beat the best fighters of his generation. He beat Roy Jones. He beat Ronald Rinky Wright. Come on. I got to keep going with his resume. He beat, arguably, John Pascal twice. He was robbed against Joe Kazagi. He was robbed against Chad Dawson. Like, tell you the truth, he was the one that had the guts to go against a prime Sergey Kovalev. And he was the first guy Kovalev could not stop.
Well, listen, we have a caller. I'm going to want to take this call right now. We're talking about Gennady Golovkin, or who is your favorite fight of the weekend. I'm going to take this call. But there's going to be comparisons for Gennady Golovkin because he's now earned the opportunity to fight Canelo in the third fight, the trilogy that'll complete this trilogy in September. He is up to his end of the agreement. If I win, I'm there. Let's not just presume that Canelo Alvarez is going to easily dispatch of the Russian guy. Come on. Like, that's not a far going. Bivol, I'm sorry. I got lots of words here with that tequila. But let's take this call, 503. 503, you are on with the Shoe Shine.
What's happening, everyone? It's the Chicano Prophet checking in.
Oh, I appreciate it, Chicano, of course, from Al Chile HCP family, man. Let me know, bro. There was so much good boxing this weekend. It was a great weekend, but on the top of my mind is asking people, who was your favorite performance of the weekend?
Well, I got to say, man, I was thoroughly impressed with Gennady Golovkin. I did not get up early in the morning. I was just like Drew. I slept in. Drew was asking for $5 cash apps for a wake-up call. I told him, I said, listen, Drew, if you're willing to offer me, a 3-round snooze, I might be interested. But he wasn't interested in that, so I decided just to wake up on my own and watch the fight. And I was thoroughly impressed with Gennady Golovkin. And Dave, I think you should know better than to ask Drew to compare Bernard Hopkins to Gennady Golovkin. We're not going to get a fair shake on that one. Like, all I can say is that Joe Calzaghe beat him clean, period. But if Drew ever wants to do a rescore on my show, he's more than welcome to come over and we can take a look at that. The Al Chile Cruz objective, we can go round by round, take a look at that bad boy. Not a bad fight. That super team that Hopkins has in the corner isn't going to save him. Joe Calzaghe beats him, But I'm getting a little bit off track here. But what I'd like to
You also lost to Mikkel Kessler. Come on now.
I'm glad you all saw that. I'm glad you all saw that.
Okay, yeah, and you think Kessler beat Calzaghe too. That's right, man. See, you got some real issues, Drew.
Let's talk about this Gennady Golovkin. I'm in agreement with you that it was impressive for a 40-year-old Gennady Golovkin to beat a much younger Ryota Murata, a gold medalist. And now it just begs the question, okay, now that we've seen what a long layoff does for Gennady Golovkin, the question on everybody's mind is how he's going to do against this version of Canelo Alvarez. And I think a lot of people will be surprised, Drew, but how does this 40-year-old version of Gennady Golovkin that we saw fare against this version of Canelo Alvarez?
It's easy. It's an easier fight now. He's 40 years old. Canelo's deep. Canelo can bop and weep all day on Gennady Golovkin, man. Like, this is why I don't want to see a third fight. He's too fucking old to fight Canelo now. Like, seriously, why are we entertaining a third fucking fight? Seriously, I don't want to see a third fight.
There's a lot of people that feel that way. I'm on the fence still. I'm kind of thinking that I need to see, I need to see this thing have its final chapter. You know, much the way Juan Manuel Marquez needed that fourth fight to finalize. Like, he got robbed in one or two. A lot of people felt that way. There were some iffy decisions, but he made that statement in his last attempt. Chicano, do you think they need a final chapter to this trilogy? To their rivalry?
I'm with you, Dave, man. Yeah, man, I'm with you, Dave. I think there needs to be a final third chapter. It needs to be closed. And as far as what Golovkin can do in a third fight, like, you know, it's like Drew said, man. I'll tell you this, dude. Like, Canelo's already dictating the footwork. He's going to go on the front foot, and Gennady is going to be forcing the back foot. It's just going to be a repeat of the second one, but even worse, in my opinion. I don't think there's any way that Golovkin has a chance unless he's willing to go out on his shield, right? This whole back foot jabbing thing is not going to work out. He's too old. He doesn't like it to the body. Murata showed you that. But we knew that anyways. But he could choose to go out on his shield. If he can somehow become the old Triple G and just choose to go for broke the way Canelo did in that second one, he might have a shot. Does he have the huevos? Can he actually go Mexican style? I have my doubts.
Yeah, a lot of people are probably going to agree with you. And even if you know, it ends in a brutal KO of Gennady Golovkin, I'd be okay with that. Either way, I need to see the final chapter to this. But Drew, let me ask you, would you prefer to see Gennady Golovkin versus poor Boo Boo Andrade, who has to move up because he feels he can't get the big, and why can't he get these big fights with Eddie Hearn? He's now leaving Eddie Hearn. It's like, it pisses me off, man. I feel bad for Boo Boo Andrade. He should have got a fight against Gennady Golovkin, both of them at the Zone, or Jaime Munguia, right?
That's enough a difference. Doesn't.
Well, you know, these are good questions, man. All I can say is that, you know, there's been an open question as to whether Gennady Golovkin's getting his proper respect and whether he's fought a bunch of nobodies besides Canelo Alvarez. All I can say to the people who think that Canelo lost both times is I think Gennady should be getting the respect he deserves. If you think that Canelo lost to him both times, well, then he's the uncrowned lineal champion who fought Jacobs first, who fought Deverenchenko first. And he's got a decent resume, if you ask me. And now he's a unified champion from a legitimate sanctioning body. So, man, you know, Andrade, I mean, he's whatever. I know how Drew feels about Andrade. Like I said, I think he's easy pickings. Whoever can bang decides to fight him, that's going to be over. Charles, whatever. Like, I think Gennady deserves a little more respect in general. And we're going to be talking about this very subject of Chile. Because you know what, man? He's the man.
I'm glad to hear that. Please remind everybody what day that is. That's going to be this week.
Yes, on Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. We're also going to be rescoring your Enix Ugas versus Sean Porter, and we're just going to be talking about Triple G in general, man. So it should be a good one. You guys are always welcome to come, you know, and hang out, come on the panel, score that fight. Always welcome. You know, I love this show.
I appreciate you so much, man, and everybody out of Chile and at ACP, man. Everyone check out Chicano Prophet's show and subscribe to his channel, man.
All right, guys. I'll catch you later.
All right, man. Thank you, man. So, peace out. Drew.
Do I have to do another difference? Because Bernard Hopkins ducked nobody. Gennady Golovkin ducked Boo Boo Andrade. Here's the difference right there. They were signed to the same stable, him and Boo Boo. Verota, they couldn't have that thing in Japan because of the COVID in Japan. So, instead of trying to go, hey, let's make a fight with Boo Boo, and Boo wanted to make that fight with him, Eddie Hearn's like, nah, well, next year let him fight Rhoda because we know he's gonna beat Rhoda. Come on, man, like he ducked fucking Boo Boo.
Drew, you know what?
It's how it is. And like,
Drew, you there?
I hear you.
Oh, yeah, it is like sometimes it feels like there's a little delay. But I got a text from my wife because she wants to get in on this. And she's saying, you know who had the best performance of the weekend? She's saying, because it's startling resemblance here, man, between the shades here. It's the press conference. It's a press conference.
Your wife's a smart lady then. Oh, that shit.
All right, Drew. The shades, man. But I almost forgot about this, man. You're not a gangster, you're a fairy. But listen, this fight is back on, man. I know I was really entertained by earlier in the year or earlier last year when they were going to fight. It's back on, man. So the lead up to this fight should be really entertaining. Some people say Gervonta Tank Davis was wearing sneakers, Converse with a platform heel. True or not? I mean, if some people said Fundora was wearing gloves that were possibly padded with something, illicit or illegal. I don't know. There's a lot of controversy in the sport of boxing.
Platform, you know what?
sneakers.
I try to have this background, change my background tonight to Roger Mayweather. It has underneath, you don't know shit about boxing. Whoever said that doesn't know shit about boxing. She needs to shut the fuck up.
Damn.
And I don't give a fuck who fixed that. They could shut the fuck up.
I don't even know.
And go fuck yourself.
Drew. Gangsters were lokes in my hood. Sorry, Drew. All right. Let's move on to this one right here real quick. The Top Rank card on Saturday was in Orange County, and it was going to headline Mikeala Mayer, someone that is in our intro, right? And she's now the unified champion, and someone that's going really hard on Alicia Baumgardner over at DAZN. Drew, I don't know if you saw this tweet, but this one was very interesting. If you didn't see this tweet, man, now she disposed of Jennifer Hahn from El Paso, Texas, former IBF champion of herself with, I think she had multiple defenses. So it's fighting a former champion, but she said shots fired right here to Alicia Baumgardner, who I think you follow. Now that my fight's over, we can talk about how embarrassing this matchup is. LOL, some champ, man. April 16th, you'll get to see the other title holder, Alicia Baumgardner. But Drew, if you got the chance to watch the development, she training with a Philadelphia trainer, but she just seems to be getting better and better, in my opinion. Mikeala Mayer is improving in every opportunity. And what I really, really enjoy about Mikeala Mayer is that she takes direction. I mean, she takes excellent direction from her coaching staff, Drew. When they ask her to make an adjustment, she's making them. And she's making the fights very entertaining. Here's the first time Top Rank, on a very competitive schedule, said we are going to showcase a woman in the headlining card. Your thoughts on Mikeala Mayer's development, potentially a future fight with Alicia Baumgardner? What's your thoughts on that, brother?
I think Baumgardner beats her.
Really?
Yep. I think this girl's gonna. Here's the thing, man. I don't like. Okay, she was going at it in her last fight, toe to toe the whole time and everything. But I think nobody hits harder in her division than Lisa does.
What about the level of competition? I mean that seems to be fair criticism.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. Women boxing, they're always gonna question that level of competition because nobody's gonna say, "Hell, only the hardcore people know most of the boxers." And then in the divisions, most of the women's divisions, there's only fucking 10 fighters in it. Or maybe 17 at most.
Well, they showed the top 10 pound for pound women's list. Mikeala Mayer is somewhere around number 5. And I have to agree with you, Drew, that there aren't a lot of women. All the names that you would recognize, like Sinisa, Savannah Marshall, they're all there on the top 10 list. But for the simple point that Top Rank is taking this chance, they signed Mikeala Mayer to a multi-fight deal now and getting a chance to headline. and being able to sell pretty well in Orange County, man. I have to tip my hat off to them and salute them. I don't have any video, but guys, most of you guys probably, especially Sonteo Media, who spends a lot of time at the Robert Garcia gyms, might be familiar with this kid Giovanni Santillan from San Diego. And I can't praise him enough for his co-main fight there, Drew. There's a couple of guys on that card that are making a lot of noise. One of them is El Venado Lopez. Lopez is a featherweight contender who upset Gabe Flores. You remember that guy? The guy who beat up Gabe Flores? Well, El Venado Lopez was on that card earlier in the night, and they really put him up with some soft opposition, and he dropped the guy like 3 or 4 times. But he's now ranked number 1 in the IBF at featherweight. So we could be seeing this guy, El Venado Lopez, who just got, they corrected me this weekend, he's now signed a multi-fight deal with Top Rank, ranked number 1, ranked in the top 5 at WBC. El Venado Lopez at featherweight is going to get a title shot eventually. He will get a title shot. And being that he signed with Top Rank, he could be getting a fight with the El Vaquero, Navarrete, someday soon. He was way early on the undercard against really poor opposition, but he's embarrassed Andy Vences from San Jose, who was a contender. He had embarrassed Gabe Flores from Stockton, guys. You need to keep your eye out on El Venado Lopez. He's extremely athletic, awkward, throws shots from all angles, and he has a lot of fun in the ring. So that's one of the guys that I say you got to keep your eye out on, El Venado Lopez. Follow him on Twitter or whatever. But going back to Giovanni Santillan while Drew takes this call, man, Giovanni Santillan is his 3rd fight with Robert Garcia in the Robert Garcia camp. He's getting the cream of the crop in sparring everywhere from Jose Ramirez to, I mean, you name it there. Probably sparred with Virgil Ortiz when they were in the same camp. He's getting this prime sparring, and it shows, Drew. And I'm talking about this guy, Giovanni Santillan, because like Ryan Garcia, Drew, they're both Southern California Chicanos. And a lot of people are giving Ryan a kind of a pass, a bit of a pass, because they're saying Tago only came to run, right? He pulled one of those run and gun maneuvers. Some people call that the sweet science. There'll be some people that say the Cuban school of fighting is about not getting hit. But Giovanni Santillan was in a fight with a guy who was not of his caliber, and he told everyone prior to the fight, if he's not up to my level, I am going to dispose of him, and I'm going to find a way. And he listened very carefully to Robert Garcia's instructions, followed them to the T, pressed the attack as was told, and he managed to get a stoppage in 7 rounds. And I think he was landing somewhere like 80 to 90 punches per round. There was not that kind of activity from Ryan Garcia on Saturday night in front of a sold-out crowd in San Antonio, Texas, or wherever it was in Texas. There was no urgency. Maybe there was it. I don't know if Joe Goosen was giving him instructions on how to cut off the ring or how to get this guy out of there. We all know he could, right? If you know you can, shouldn't you go for it?
Wow, this is something that I have to, I said this, that I was going to really be honest about what I saw about Ryan Garcia and everything. I treated it out and everything. Even over the rope, he told me to preach. And you know what?
Uh-oh.
I'm going to tell you how it is, and I'm going to let you see my eyes because I don't do fake ass takes. Ryan Garcia, from what I saw in his last couple fights, and especially this one, is not a serious threat at 135. And I'm going to tell you why he's not a serious threat. Togo, did he fight Shakur Stevenson?
No, he did. Maybe you're thinking of Nakatilia.
Yeah, I'm probably Nakatilia. Fuck it. Let me just say something. Ryan Garcia is not a serious threat to the top people at 135. And I'm going to tell you why. Ryan Garcia is all about hand speed. He's flat-footed all the time, and he's all about hand speed. And what beats hand speed all the time, Dave?
Well, that would be precision counterpunching timing.
Correct. And every time, and the thing about Ryan Garcia is how to hit him, you punch with him. And you're going to land. When he throws, you're going to throw with him, and you're going to land. Togo has flown, and he landed cleanly on him. And he also has that Amir Khan weakness. Leaves his chin out when he punches. An easy chance to get countered all the time. That happened frequently in this fight. So now, Ryan Garcia, there's only 2 fighters. Matter of fact, there's only one top 135-pound fighter I favor him against. And that's because that dude has no defense whatsoever. I think his defense is lacking as it is. Devin Haney, because he has no chin, and he's not good on defense. It's the only guy I see him beating. But other than that, I don't see him beating Tank. And I cannot believe I'm saying it, but I don't think he beats Tank. I think Ryan's going to get caught by Tank, by getting countered, and he's going to get knocked out. Teofimo beats Ryan Garcia. Vasily Lomachenko destroys Ryan Garcia. Jojo Diaz beats Ryan Garcia.
Speaking of Jojo Diaz, wow, he was at the fight, man.
Yeah.
he pulled the Drew Evo. He was very open and honest. Every time he got an opportunity to speak on the panel, he said, I'm just paraphrasing him, but he tweeted that I need coffee to stay up and watch this bullshit, and I'm here at the fight. He was coming. He said he needed a cup of coffee. Those are shots fired. Let's remember Jojo Diaz is a natural selection, both being at Golden Boy. They did have a fight that was supposed to be planned. Remember, they had a fight during that long stretch that fell apart. And he has a beef about that. He should have a beef about that. But Jojo Diaz did one thing. Remember, Drew? He took on that fight against what's his name? The Dominican Fundora, or what was his name?
Fundora.
Why am I getting the names wrong? But he took that fight that Ryan Garcia was supposed to have. Remember? Against that guy.
And he beat him.
And he beat him. And he got himself
He moved up in weight.
Yeah, and he beat him.
And
he beat him. So, of course, Jojo Diaz has a bone to pick with Ryan Garcia, and I'm for it, man. If those two naturally, if they want to fight next, it's a natural step up from Ryan Garcia from to go, and one that I do see Ryan Garcia easily winning.
I'm going to say this right now. Ryan Garcia has no good footwork at all. He lies on his hand speed. And tell you the truth, I don't think he's a threat to nobody at 135. Except for Haney.
Nando Lamas, thanks for correcting me. For Fortuna and Fundora.
Seriously. He's not a threat. And I think people need to stop saying that Togo ran the whole time, because Togo frequently land on Ryan Garcia. And you watch the whole... I'm going to tell you fanboys out there. Watch the fight with your freaking glasses on because you're blind as fuck, or you just really dick riding.
Listen,
seriously.
Vegas didn't expect to go the distance. But I do want to give credit to his team, because if you notice carefully, Xander Zayas was one of his cornermen on Saturday night for To-Go. Of course, To-Go fights, I was told, he is represented by Peter Kahn, excellent manager, and Centeno Boxing Gym is the home of Xander Zayas. And I thought, first of all, there's two things that the Centeno gym in Florida, Drew, I give them a lot of credit for. One of them is that Kambosos used that as his home base, and Kambosos did a lot of sparring with Xander Zayas. And To-Go also prepared by getting in some sparring rounds against Xander Zayas, who was about the same height as Ryan Garcia, but much, much stronger, which I credit to him being able to survive in this fight, man. I mean, I think Ryan Garcia could have easily applied the pressure, listened to his instructions. If he had been working on some of those things, those fundamentals you've talked about, like using his jab to set up those combinations, learning how to cut off the ring like they do at Canelo's camp. He left Canelo's camp. Canelo learned to cut off the ring exquisitely. Some of those things, I think he could have got to go out of there way, way sooner than going the distance, man. And that's why I don't give Ryan Garcia a pass. There's another thing that's bothering me about the Ryan Garcia fight, guys, that nobody I've seen talk about it. But in his return to the ring, Drew, do you know what the fight was, at what weight the fight was?
139.
Exactly, which is 139, just a pound shy of another star-studded weight division. Josh Taylor's of the world, Jose Ramirez's, the list goes on and on of the top fighters at 140 pounds. Let's not bullshit around the ring. Ryan Garcia is a really, really tall kid. He's fighting his body to gaining the weight. He's 23 years old. You can't keep being this skinny when you're the same height as Andrew Zayas. So I don't think I give him more than this year fighting at lightweight before he has to force himself to go up to the next division, which makes him even less of a contender in my book at the 140 pound division, Drew. Which is why I'm gonna just probably make this prediction right here. I think he does fight Tank Davis this calendar year. I think they do somehow figure out how to make that, because there'll be that flexibility. We've seen Tank Davis fight at 140 pounds. And we know that Ryan Garcia made 139 pounds easily. So there'll be some bullshit in that. And Drew, it's not, like you said, it's not a lightweight fight. We got a call. Let's take this call from the 5 and Dime. From the 5 and Dime. You're on the shoe shine. Hold on, Drew. We got a caller. 510, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Shoe Shine? What's up, Drew? This is Ryan's #1 fanboy.
Is it Nando?
Yeah.
Hey, Nando. Yeah, I saw you and Drew go back and forth on Twitter. I chose not to get involved.
I got blue sleeve on speed dial. Hold on. I got blue sleeve on speed dial for you, Nando.
Well, let's let Nando.
Brother, how Drew see on speed dial, homie?
Nando, let's give you an opportunity to give your assessment, because I'm asking everybody, and Ryan Garcia is very polarizing. Either you saw what you needed to see this Saturday from him, a guy coming off a long layoff, a guy who definitely needed some rounds to shake off the ring rust. Did you see what you needed to see out of him?
Oh, absolutely not. He was lacking a lot of body work, right? Like I think that would have helped him a lot more. He was doing a lot of headhunting.
Thank you.
I think
you're right.
Ryan made a big I think he made a big mistake, and hopefully doesn't do it anymore going forward by predicting a knockout, right? Because when you predict a knockout, you're constantly chasing it from round 1 to round 12. And I think that was his biggest mistake, chasing the knockout.
True. He did predict an early knockout. Even Jake Paul was on my timeline somehow, because he got like thousands of retweets because he said, "Hey, watch this. Ryan's going to knock this guy out in 3 or 4." That's a high expectation. Now, Drew, what's your beef with Nando on the Ryan Garcia issue?
I don't understand why you could like a dude that, tell you the truth, all he does is pull out of fights, big fights, and he has not really shown anything to me.
Well, I think he gave an honest criticism right now of Ryan's flaws on Saturday night.
Like, I'm going to be honest with you. This is not a prediction, it's a spoiler. If he fights Tank Davis would knock him out inside 9 rounds.
Nando, who do you want to see?
Hey, Drew.
Oh, go ahead.
Wait, hold on. Can I respond to Drew?
Absolutely.
Hey, go ahead.
You know who doesn't believe that, Drew? You know who doesn't believe that? Tank's own crew. You want to know how? They wouldn't let him fight Pitbull Cruz and knock out Cruz and embarrass Tank by knocking out Cruz, right? That's why we didn't get Pitbull this weekend. Because that camp knows Ryan's going to spark him out and make Tank look bad. All right.
I don't think he's going to knock out Pitbull Cruz. If he could,
why were they hiding him from Ryan? Why were they hiding him? Why were they hiding him? Why were they hiding Pitbull from Ryan then? Why?
So you believe in Ryan Garcia's story, not looking at both sides.
No, I don't have to believe anything. Dude, I don't have to believe anything, man. The offer was made, right? And they turned it down. They tried to turn the tables on Golden Boy by making a counter offer, right? Trying to bring Ryan over to Showtime or wherever, right?
No, but you want to know why
there was offers going back and forth.
But you want to know why that offer was taken down? You want to know why that offer was taken down? Because they said they wanted to get paid.
I told you why.
I'm going to tell you why right now. I'm going to tell you why right now. They wanted to get paid if Ryan Garcia somewhat pulls out of the fight, and Golden Boy refused to pay him if Ryan Garcia pulls out. And because there's no guarantee he was going to pull out or not. Because he's done it twice already.
So you think it's a better idea to fight on the undercard of Spence Ugas next week then? That's what you're telling me? That was the better choice?
Tell you the truth, if you find on the court of Ryan Garcia or on the court of Spencer Ugas, I'll take Spencer Ugas in a heartbeat. It's a better fight. They're two top welterweights. They're both champions.
Oh, boy.
Don't say "oh boy" to me about that shit, man. Ryan Garcia hasn't shown nothing. He got off from
Yes.
Hey, agree to disagree, Drew.
Yeah, that's what it is. It is exactly it, man. You guys tried to make your points, but you're not going to agree.
Show God.
Oh boy, I want to say this about Ryan, guys. Both of you guys. He did specifically say that he's done calling out fighters after this win. After his win on Saturday night, he said he's done calling out fighters. That he's going to let his team and management come up with the fights and draw them up. He said he's wasted too much energy on that shit. So we won't be seeing that kind of stuff anymore on social media. According to Ryan, he's going to let Oscar and his management team pick out these next fights for him. So we won't have to speculate. We won't have to speculate on these fantasy matchups like him versus Pitbull Cruz anymore. I think that's a good way to go. I think that's a good thing for Ryan Garcia to stop calling out other fighters and just, I mean, whoever they throw in front of him, he's got to get to work and do the best he can, to continue to win over the skeptics. I'm in that camp as a skeptic, but I won't deny that he's gifted. The kid is gifted.
I'm going to be honest with you. That's the smartest thing he said the whole time he's been a pro at fighting, because to tell you the truth, all he did was when calling out people was talking out his ass.
So Drew, that's what he said. He said, I've grown this year. Well, in my time away from the ring,
a lot more things.
In my time away from the ring, I've done some growing, so I'm done with that shit. Man, Nando, I appreciate you being part of the Shoe Shine and HCP. Anything else you want to add to the conversation?
Well, just one last thing, right? Like, I'm not a fanboy of Garcia or any particular fighter, really. I'm a fanboy of boxing, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I want Tank to be a superstar. I want Ryan Garcia to be a superstar. I want all the guys at lightweight to fight each other because, boxing needs superstars, man.
Absolutely.
And that's how I feel, right? Like, I feel, I was a Corrales fan, right? I went to Corrales Castillo's #1, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a big fan of Joe Goosen. And I think Joe Goosen has what it takes to straighten out Ryan a little bit, man. To give him, also barely the first fight together.
Yeah.
I think a little more patience, a little less of that Twitter mentality where you got to blaze everybody up. The second they stumble a little bit, you got to call them a piece of shit, That's just foolish. That's some Twitter crap. Yeah. And hopefully Drew gets past that one of these days. Thank you for taking my phone call. I appreciate it. You guys have a good night.
All right, take care, brother. He made a good point, Drew. One quick thing that Nando brought up about superstars and that boxing needs superstars is I would have been upset if I went, but this fight with Ryan Garcia and DAZN was being offered in movie theaters, select movie theaters across the U.S. And this is a move that Oscar did with Oscar De La Hoya did this move with Canelo when he had some of his fights back in the day at 154 pounds. These fights were offered at movie theaters, which gives people an opportunity to maybe watch boxing in an environment that they never have, or take the family to see something like that. It's kind of different. I would have been let down, but again, it is a good move, man. The more ways you can get boxing into people's eyes and have them watch it, the better.
I just want to know, did Nando feel better saying that? Does he feel better?
I don't know.
Does he happy he got that out now? He's in his big boy pants.
Chicano says Nando should call in more often. I agree. I appreciate everyone who chats and interacts with us, and also on social media to give their opinion out. Let me hear your voice. Let me hear it on the Shoe Shine.
Just like I did Saturday night when I shut him up after showing that Blue Zeroid GFI to him when he said bow to the master, he left the phone conversation before I replied. So bow to the master, dude.
Sheesh. All right.
That's why I'm on here and he's in the chat.
Oh boy. All right, Drew. I didn't mean for the show to pan out this way, but this fight is a fight of the year contender, Drew. And at 154 pounds, I really didn't know what the future for Fundora held. I kind of saw him as a circus freak show act, 6'6". I haven't seen anyone this tall since Paul Williams at that weight class. And of course, he's even taller than Paul Williams, right? And anybody who gets in the ring with such a freakish fighter at that weight class, I have to salute them, man. And let's talk about Lubin, man, being a champion in his heart, because Lubin overcame an early assault and knockdown and put on that 7th round knockdown of Fundora, man, was spectacular to rally back and almost end the fight in his favor, Drew. But we can't get away from the damage that was sustained, man. Even these rumors that Fundora's gloves might have been loaded, bro. Was it one of the best fights you've seen? It's only April, but
it was a good fight. It really was. But here's the thing, man. I know who said that, and tell you the truth, they just need to just shut the fuck up. Like, seriously,
the loaded
it's the
gloves?
same old, it's the same fucking shit all the time with fucking certain people, man. Like, seriously, man, what the fuck do you have against the kid and everything? Like, the kid has power. The kid's knocked out people before. And then you saying, like, since he beat the shit out of him like that, you're going to say, oh, yeah, loaded gloves? Come on, man. Seriously, man, that's a fucking disgrace that you're going to say that someone's cheating at loaded gloves. You're just doing that for capping. You're just doing that for fucking views, man. And at the end of the day, man, you fake as fuck.
You know, Joe, I always talk about getting out there and watching boxing in person whenever you have an opportunity. I had no idea that it was at the Virgin in Las Vegas. I heard that tickets were as low as $50, bro, and it wasn't sold out. Like, people who showed up to the Virgin Hotel in Las Vegas, they got to see a fantastic main event, man. It really could be one of the fight of the year contenders. And I have Tim Tszyu fresh in my memory because we took last Monday off, and we got to see Tim Tszyu here in the U.S. on PBC. And Tim Tszyu's ranked above Fundora now. But I don't know how these things are going to play out. We're going to see Castaño and Charlo again in the rematch to see which one of these guys walks away with all 4 titles. But I got to tell you, man, I'm really impressed with the stable that PBC has at 154 pounds. Let's not forget Jesus Ramos Jr. is at 154 pounds now. He's at PBC. Joey Chestnut he's also a contender at 154 pounds. Their division is stacked with talent. It's just stacked with talent. And Fundora really, really put himself on the map this Saturday night and he should be ranked as high as possible with that impressive win over Lubin. Lubin's only loss came to Charlo early in his career.
I get him. He's in the top 5, Fundora. But I just want people, like, if you're gonna accuse somebody of cheating, at least have some credible proof. And if you don't have proof, you're just gonna keep saying it. Just shut the fuck up. Seriously.
Oh,
and like, do I have to call people out? Do I have to literally name people to call out and say, show your proof? If you don't have your proof, and if it's not credible, I don't want to fucking hear it.
My wife says, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Drew. I just got a text. My wife says I should stop drinking tequila. I just said Joey Chestnut, who is San Jose's hot dog eating world champion. It's Joey Spencer that I'm thinking about. Joey Spencer.
Jesus Christ, Dave.
I just said Joey Chestnut.
No, I'm seriously.
Sorry, guys.
I'm about to call people out by name. Say, yo, have some credible proof and just shut the fuck up. Because, like, people try to say that a fucking glove can fucking bend in a Fury thing, and a glove can fucking bend. Like, it's fucking pictures of glove bending during fights, during fucking hitting the bag, sparring section. Come on now.
Well,
seriously.
Just as pissed off as you get with these wild rumors and allegations on social media. I know what you're getting at, Drew, but you know what I get pissed off equally is about these scorecards, bro. Look at this scorecard. Like I said earlier in the night, Mikeala Mayer and Hamadouche had women's fight of the year. And at the Virgin, and the scorecard, there were some judges that gave Hamadouche 0 rounds. One of the judges, I think, scored it a sweep. So some funny shit going on at the Virgin Hotel in Las Vegas. Russell Mora, well known here. Let's see here. 12, the Fundora thing. 85-84 for Lubin. Russell Mora, 85-84 for Lubin. Jill Diamond, 85-84 for Lubin. And a draw on White. What was this guy's? On the last remaining judge, he had it a draw, but there was no way. In my book, I had it that close. Aside from what Lubin did in round 7 and round 1, I kind of thought Fundora was dictating the pace of the fight. Also, Drew, I had mentioned this on D Styles' show a little bit earlier today, but I think one way to describe Fundora is if you choose to fight him on the inside, and this is so spectacular because you don't think of guys with arms and reach like that as being incredible inside game fighters. And I'm going to say it, Fundora is a remarkable inside fighter. It's like walking into a propeller blade. Like, I don't know what made Lubin think that was the right strategy going when he was having such little success on the inside against Fundora. It's like literally walking into a fan blade spinning, bro. Those uppercuts, his body work, it's just vicious. I don't know what got into him, man. Do you guys think that Lubin would have had a better chance fighting on the outside? Drew? He did hurt him, man. He had a spectacular comeback in round 7.
Probably, but Fundora is a guy that can take his reach as an advantage and everything. Like, tell you the truth, I think, like, Lubin would have been better sticking and moving the whole time and trying to counter him. Like, it's just turned into a far-out brawl, man, at the end. Like, who was gonna fall first? Who was not gonna be able to take it anymore? Who wanted it more? And that's how the fight ended. Lubin, his people, say, hey, he can't take no more. His face is all fucked up.
Oh man,
like,
was his?
I'm surprised his
ever...
jaw isn't broke. I thought his jaw was broke.
Here's some more pictures of what his face looked like after the fight. But it's interesting you say that, Drew, because yeah, I definitely thought that more things would have been effed up on him, like broken jaw, broken cheekbones or whatnot, maybe a busted orbital eye socket. But reportedly the next day, he was out. Of course, still swollen, but he was out in Las Vegas and people were talking to him and he was very amiable. And he showed no desire to hang up the gloves, man. Like I said, he's only got 2 losses. Lubin's got 2 losses against Charlo, who is the champion in the division, and Fundora, who could possibly be a champion at 154 pounds. Drew, do you see Fundora as likely being able to maybe be a top dog in the division from here on?
Yeah, I do. I really think he eventually is going to become a champion in 154 pounds. Like, I don't really say, like, like how somebody can have the balls to say that someone's cheating. Well, hey, the guy took a lot of shots and Fundora is an excellent puncher and everything. Like, nah, I'm just like I'm disgusted in how like other YouTubers don't really realize that you keep it 100, but some YouTubers are so fucking hard-headed that they're gonna fucking do bullshit narratives just to get views and everything, just to get a nice super chat,
Right. It's crazy, Drew. It's crazy. So I'm excited, man. By the way, upcoming schedule is stacked. It's stacked. But going back to that scorecard thing real quick, even Showtime Sports, and this picture was one of the controversial things, Drew. I don't know why they were associating the cell phone and the hand wrap and whatnot, but whatever, bro. Even Steve Farhood had Lubin up by 1 point. And usually Steve Farhood I'm usually in agreement with his scorecards, but I wasn't in this case. Even Steve Farhood saw it that way. Let's talk about that schedule coming up, Drew, because yeah, we took last Monday off, but there's no taking any Mondays off now with this schedule. We got this one out of the way. We got Triple G versus Murata that we thought would take forever. Spence versus Ugas, a pay-per-view spectacular just coming up. Is that date right, Drew? April 16th? That doesn't sound right at all, right?
I think it's this Saturday.
This Saturday? Shit. Somebody dropped that comment. Is it really this Saturday? Damn. Where is all the lead up to that? Why is it the press not there for it like it should be, man? Anyways, of course, then you got a unification at 130 pounds in Las Vegas. 1 week before the big Canelo Bivol, we've got Oscar Valdez, who I did not think Valdez would ever get past Burchelt, man, and that's the last time I bet against him. Of course, now he's facing Shakur Stevenson, who, I mean, some people might say he might be the next Floyd Mayweather. I mean, we'll see how he does with Oscar Valdez, man. I'm not going to call that fight right now at all. Kambosos Jr. versus Devin Haney. True, Haney and Ryan Garcia are about the same age, man. Maybe Ryan Garcia needs to rethink his management and his promoter, bro. Because, like you said, shouldn't that be, if he's really the top dog at 135, shouldn't that be Ryan Garcia fighting Kambosos in Australia? But no, it's going to Haney, and Haney signed this fantastic 3-fight deal with Top Rank. So props to him, right? Charlo Castaño, too. Chicano says, oh, true Spence and Ugas fight. Like, is it really this Saturday? Shit, that's going to be pretty badass. And I know people aren't filling these pay-per-views, but I do give Ugas a really good chance in that fight. And one that I'm very, very excited about coming up soon is 39-year-old Nonito Donaire, man. 39 years old. We saw the 40-year-old Gennady Golovkin pull it off. Unified titles, man. Let's not forget, Nonito Donaire is a champion right now, Drew. And fight of the year, they had that fight of the year against Nonito Donaire versus the monster Inoue, and he went into that dude's backyard and almost dropped, which done something that nobody's done, is almost knock out Inoue himself, man. I can't wait for that, man. This schedule is off the chain. Canelo Bivol, May 7th. Your thoughts on this schedule, Drew?
Dave, I say we make predictions on the schedule right now. Fuck it. Let's give the people what they want.
You want to do these 8 right now?
Let's do the 8 right now. Fuck it. I don't give a flying fuck. Let's do it.
Oh, man. This dude right here. All
Let's
right.
eliminate the fucking Bivol, like the fucking Triple G Mortal fight. I don't give 2 fucks about that anymore.
All right, let's wrap it up. Shoe Shine predictions right now. We got 3 minutes. This is our outro song. Go ahead, Drew. There's only 7 here.
All right. So, Spence versus Ugas. I'm predicting Ugas will beat Spence by decision. I think Ugas is Cuban style and smart punch output will take care of Spence's white eye. That's it's not tested yet with that accident he had. Now, Charlo versus Castaño too. I think Castaño beats and gets that justified decision against Charlo and becomes undisputed 154-pound champion. Fury versus White. I got Tyson Fury knocking out Dillian White inside 8 rounds.
94,000 tickets sold.
Yeah. Kambosos versus Devin Haney. I got Kambosos knocking out Devin Haney inside 10 rounds. Now, Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez. I got Shakur Stevenson winning by decision. I think that signature win against Jamar Herring is gonna boost his confidence. Is gonna be able to go inside and make Oscar Valdez vulnerable. Now, Inoue versus Donaire rematch. I'm picking Nonito Donaire by decision.
Was that it? All 7?
Yeah. Oh, Bivol versus Canelo. I got Canelo Alvarez knocking out Bivol inside 8 rounds.
Did y'all hear that? Say it again.
Bivol will get knocked out by Canelo Alvarez inside 8 rounds.
Damn. All right, I'll do my best to do it. And remember, Drew, on the round table, I got chastised a few weeks ago for being the king of changing his mind. And it didn't work out for me when I changed my mind. So if I'm doing these predictions right now, I'm just going off emotion, I guess, because I haven't given this really any thought. But Drew, I think Ugas does upset Spence Jr. I think he upsets him, man. There's something there that spells upset. He did it against Pacquiao recently, and I think he's the fresher of the two and more active of the fighters. Fury versus White. Fury KOs White. That's a done deal by knockout. All right, Charlo Castaño too, Drew. I had Castaño winning that first fight, but I think Charlo always learns from his mistakes, as evidenced against Tony Harrison. I think Charlo wins this one. convincingly either by knockout or split decision win. Charlo wins the rematch. Kambosos Jr. versus Haney. Kambosos wins this one. And we're going to find out that Haney, we are going to finally come to agreement and accept that Devin Haney's chin is not going to hold up in this one. Valdez versus Shakur Stevenson. Man, it did not fare when I voted against Oscar Valdez, but Shakur Stevenson is special. So is Oscar Valdez, but Shakur Stevenson wins this one by decision. Last but not least, Nonito Donaire sent into retirement. Drew, it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well. Oh, I didn't give my Canelo Bivol pick, but I don't think Donaire gets passed by Inoue. Inoue is continuing to get stronger and stronger, and if he retires a Hall of Famer 100%, I am certain of that. No shame in hanging up your hat against Inoue. I wish him the best of luck. Canelo Bivol, I ain't really made up my mind on that one, bro. I ain't really made up my mind, but I'm going to have to say Canelo edges that one. So there it is. People are going to be able to go back to that, Drew. Shit, I don't like doing that. Oh, man. I appreciate everybody for coming by and hanging out with the Shoe Shine tonight. I'm Dave from the 408, Drew Evo. Make sure you check out all the HCP programming for the rest of the week. In the Ring with Christine. D-Styles probably do HCP tomorrow night. The 100th episode was a hit last week. Make sure you check out him and G-Funky and Nancy. Everybody on that. Chicano Prophet al Chile. Thursdays with the Round Table. Long Live Boxing. Shout out to them. Shout out to Maestro who did his thing earlier. Everybody here. Appreciate you guys. And we will see you next week. And I'm just going to do this, Drew. You can hang up on the call, brother. But I wanted to let everybody know that if you want to watch some free fights on Friday, Thompson Boxing, a friend of the show, Rubin Villa, who I went down and visited at his gym in Salinas, California, a couple weeks back. I was not able to play that interview. So if you want to catch it now and watch it again, you can hear about how he intends to go up and climb the ladder back up in the 126-pound featherweight division that is full of stars. He gave Navarrete a good fight. I'm not going to say he came close to winning, but he gave Navarrete a good fight. I thought he won at least 4 rounds, man. So stay tuned for that. Check it out, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.
It's your boy Dave from the 408 Shoe Shine Podcast. I'm here with the fighting pride of Salinas, California, former world title challenger, Rubin Villa. Rubin, thanks for inviting me down here. Tell me a little bit about where we're sitting at, man. This place is impressive.
Yeah, for sure. We just opened up my gym here in the South Main of Salinas about a good month and a half ago. We're getting good business, a lot of kids coming in, and yeah, man, I got my own gym now.
This place is awesome, man. What does it mean to you to bring a gym like this to the community here in Salinas?
I mean, it means a lot, man. When I was young, I didn't really have a place to work out. After the bread box, we ended up making a little shed for me in the backyard. So this is actually my second gym. The first one wasn't really open to the public just because I was trying to just stay focused on what I was doing. So now we're open to the public, and it's a cool thing to see.
And Salinas is definitely on the up and up. But let's talk about your last fight because, like I just mentioned, you're a world title challenger. You had the opportunity of a lifetime over a year ago. And, of course, it was against – many people are going to say that Emmanuel Navarrete, El Vaquero, is the top dog, and you got to face him. And you came so close. Now looking back, how do you grade your performance in this title opportunity you had?
I feel like I had a pretty good performance. Had a few minor things to fix up. Got knocked down a few times, but I got up and I felt like I adjusted good and I started boxing and got a good rhythm. So I felt like, like I said, just those minor mistakes I messed up kind of fell asleep on the wheel. But it's been over a year since I fought, and I feel like I've corrected those, and I feel like it made me a better fighter today.
Yeah, we just pointed out it's been over a year. You're going to be back in action April 15th versus Ryan Garcia from Guadalajara. So in the year off, you mentioned the things that you learned from that world title opportunity. And what does Horacio Garcia bring to the table in your first fight back?
Yeah, he's a tough veteran. He's been in with a few world champs, and we know he's coming to fight and he's coming to win. And I'm just prepared to do what I usually do and, look good while I'm doing it.
Later today, Josh Warrington and Kiko Martinez are going to be fighting. Kiko Martinez is a guy that won a world title and 10 years later in his mid-30s, late 30s, won a title again. So tell me about this championship run you're looking forward to at featherweight division, because I was really impressed with what you did against Emmanuel Navarrete, and I'm sure you got a championship still in your mind, right?
For sure, man. That's what I'm working for every day, and since it's been a dream since I've been a little kid. So, you know, the dream hasn't slowed down or hasn't stopped. I plan on becoming a world champ soon, and you know, no matter who's in the way, division stacked, and you know, I'm up for a fight, and I'm obviously up to face the best. So, you know, why not do it again?
The division is stacked for sure. Most people that watch boxing may not know, but you've got some impressive wins over Shakur Stevenson as an amateur. Having those kind of wins, man, what kind of confidence does that give you now as a professional?
Yeah, I mean, just going through the amateur ranks has helped a lot in my professional career. So, like you said, beating the big names that are in boxing today is just, you know, kind of elevates my confidence and just my boxing skills in general. Like I said, this division stacked, but I belong to be in that stacked division, and I'm one of the top 126 pounders today.
You foresee yourself at 126 pounds for the next year or so?
Yeah, for sure. I make 126 pretty easy. I don't get too big, no more than 140. So I feel like that's my natural weight, and like I said, it's just easy to make for me still.
All right, man. So I'm up in San Jose, so I guess it's really important for you to give back to this community, Salinas, and helping with an amateur program out here too.
Yeah, for sure. We also have an amateur team. When we started up the gym, we have one fighter at 115, I believe, going to the JLs next week. So yeah, we have a good little amateur team, and can't wait for those guys to start getting their amateur experience.
All right, I mentioned it. April 15th, Thompson Boxing. Where can people watch Thompson Boxing if they're not familiar with it?
It'll be on Thompson Boxing's Facebook account. It'll be live stream on.
Yeah, and I believe the YouTube channel.
Yeah, sure.
It's going to be a great fight, and hope to see you back on the big screen on main TV. I'm Dave from the 4A. Thanks a lot, Ruben, for your time, man.
Sure, man.